everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Thursday, September 9th. We're excited to have everybody with us today. I'm Robert Theobald, the Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services, and glad to be your host. We're going to get started, as we like to do, by thanking all of our community partners. We could not do these bootcamp sessions without them, their time, their expertise. They are great partners, and we appreciate them very much. Those not familiar with the Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective, it is a webinar series designed to help small businesses return from the COVID crisis stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of our community partners, and it is also a resource collective and a content library. So the main foundation to help people get this information, attend the webinars, and so forth, is to go to our website, azcommerce.com/small business bootcamp. A bunch of dashes in there as well, as you see on the bottom of the screen. And on that, you can find a resource collective. The resource collective is a set of tools and guides provided by our community partners to help support small businesses. Additionally, from doing these boot camps every Tuesday and Thursday over the last year and a half, we have amassed a massive content library. We've recorded every session, and we've recorded nearly 180 sessions. And with that, you can go into the content library, or on the screen you see it under archived, and review any of the sessions that you may have missed or want to watch again. There's no cost to go on and review them. We include the slide deck and any other materials that the presenter provided during that. So it's a great tool, great resource for everybody to take a look at. There's also a couple of other good websites I want to mention. The state's COVID-19 information and resource page, arizonatogether.org. And then the Arizona Commerce Authority set up the COVID-19 Business Resources website at azcommerce.com/COVID-19. And this is a website that provides additional guidance, financial resources, and other information for all size businesses throughout the state. For small businesses, we can leverage ACA's programs. ACA has a number of programs to support small businesses, including our small business services, our workforce division, and our Arizona MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Now, all these programs help support small business growth and development, and are available to work with small businesses, again, throughout the state. Another program we have is our small business checklist. And this is an online interactive tool that's designed to help people understand the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs at the local, state, and federal levels. So with that, we want to jump into some business updates. Just a reminder, you heard me talk about it before. I'm going to keep talking about it. Is PPP loan forgiveness. If you took out a first draw loan, your time is coming up that you need to get the forgiveness application in. We've done a number of webinars on the new SBA portal. We're going to post some information on the chat about the SBA portal. But the SBA did set up this portal to help small businesses with loans of under $150,000 or less make forgiveness application much easier. So please check that out. Another note is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program is still available. It's still active for COVID-19 challenges, and there is talks about possibly updating or increasing the loan amounts that small businesses can take. So I definitely recommend that everybody keep an eye on that program. We'll share the link for it in the chat as well. Another couple of reminders is the Employee Retention Credit that's out there. We just did a boot camp on it last week, I believe, or the week before. The last 2 weeks we did a boot camp on it with our experts at Beach Fleischman. They shared some technical information on it. It's a great opportunity. It's complicated, but it's a great opportunity for some additional funding for your business. And then the Small Business Digital Academy. This is an online training cohort that we put together. We are currently accepting applications for it, and we will have another information session today at noon. We will post the link to that website so you can find out more information and get signed up for that information session in the chat as well. So with that, we want to look at some of the upcoming sessions over the next 2 weeks. Next Tuesday, we've got a great session on health share. If you're looking for a medical type insurance or program to help support your employees, this would be a great session to be on, to learn what health share is and how it works, and then evaluate if it might be something you want to implement within your business. Then next Thursday, we'll have the second part of our 3-part series on video with Taylor Wellman on Don't Collect Dust, Digital Dust, Understanding the Video Distribution Roadmap. And then the following Tuesday, we start a few sessions that help us get into the holiday season, start thinking about it, is sales strategies to soar through the 2021 holiday season. And then the following Thursday is our final video session on YouTube search engine optimization. So with that, we want to jump into today's session and introduce everybody to Taylor Wellman. She's the co-owner of Financial Potion. She's been on with us before. She does an amazing job of teaching everyone how to understand how video can help your business. And so we wanted to bring her back for a 3-part series because video is becoming increasingly important in the digital world for small businesses. So Taylor, with that, I will go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me come here again. You know, in the world of digital marketing, things are always updating. So it's always good to know what you should be doing. And really, if you're not using video in your marketing, you need to now, because not only people, but all platforms are really wanting to see more video. And so throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I may not be able to look at them at the moment. We'll probably stop during major transition points to see if there's any questions about that topic we were just on before moving to the next topic. And then we'll definitely have some time at the very end to answer any additional questions that came up. So please do not hesitate to post any questions. Okay. So what we're going to be learning today are the 3 videos that every business should produce, and not only what you should be producing, but really why you should be producing it and how you can produce it to look professional. So exactly what are we going to learn today? It's those 3 types of videos you should be producing, how to script them, what kind of equipment you might want to purchase in order to have a higher quality product, and then of course your questions. That's probably the most important topic, is making sure that you're walking away with the answers you need to be successful. So number 1, the first types of videos that I really actually encourage people to focus on are reviews and testimonials. This is something that you're going to be able to, capture very easily from your raving fans. And so in here, you can see that this particular video has closed captions. We're going to be talking about the importance of using closed captions in your videos, not only for the hard of hearing. However, platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok, about 80% of those users are watching those videos on silent as they're scrolling through their wall. They're reading along and seeing if they want to click on the video to actually absorb the full video. And so it's extremely important that you have these closed captions in a lot of these videos, especially your reviews, because these are videos that you're going to want to sprinkle all over the place. So when you're thinking about scripting your reviews, these are the questions that you want to ask. And you want to make sure that they try to restate the question within the answer, so then that way it can become its own video. So number 1, what is your name and who are they? This is really great when you're working with B2B businesses, because then they're able to kind of toot their own horn a little bit and talk about themselves. It becomes a win-win situation, and actually a lot easier to ask to get that testimonial. And then you want to start building that story. And so how did you get started working together? What kind of problems were they having? And then why did they choose to work with you beyond someone else? And then what was the process like? We want to talk about, some tangible things that that other people can visualize them seeing, whether it be about communication, or was the process a lot shorter than they expected it to be? And then what were the results? Once again, you really want them to tell numbers that other people can relate in their minds. Did you help them lose 10 pounds in less than 30 days? That's something people can truly visualize. Did you help them sell their home in, 2 days after being on the market? Now that's pretty easy for people these days, but other days not so much. Did you help them earn 50% more revenue in their business? What are some of those tangible results that they experienced? And then, have they tried a similar product, production, or service before? And how did this one differ? And so really, you don't want to say, John is so much better than when I worked with Jerry because of XYZ. I don't really like name bashing, but more so, it could be, I worked with a vet before who just treated my cat like a number. Now, this vet really took the time to allow me to understand what's going on with my cat, and we were able to find a great medication to help with their anxiety. It's a total random situation. I don't have a cat with anxiety. I do have cats, but that is something where I was able to talk about the difference without name bashing. And lastly, and really this is something that you're going to want to put on every single video too, is that recommendation. And so make sure, no matter what, let's say your testimonial is really busy, they don't have a lot of time with you to actually give a full story script, just have them answer this one question. Would you recommend the same service, product, person, business, and why? And so you really want to make sure that they say the words, I would recommend, and then make sure that they mention your name, your business name, or your product, and then why. That one sentence alone, that one answer alone could be a quality testimonial or review for you. Also, if you are having to get all 6 of these questions answered, you may want to have a long version that you can put on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, but then you could take answer number 6, that recommendation line, and use it for Instagram or TikTok or one of those sites that like those shorter platforms. Apparently my office door wasn't closed well enough, and so now you get to see one of my cats, but don't worry, she'll disappear in the background here shortly since she's all black. And so when you are getting these testimonials, they do not need to be overly produced. What you can do is, as someone's giving you praise, say, oh, wait a moment, let me capture this on video. Take out your phone, take out your camera, take out your tablet, and capture that real life response. That's totally perfect. For other people, they might be saying, we've missed out on so many testimonials. What do we do? You can reach out to them, plan to have a one-to-one, a follow-up, maybe have some coffee with them, or now that we're starting to meet in person more, you may want to consider having some sort of appreciation event. Have appreciation event. Let your clients know you're happy that they stuck with you and you want to thank them. And then you can set up a little booth or area in the back or away from all the crowd and noise where you can capture these really simple, one line, would you recommend and why testimonials. Another great option is to just get on a Zoom call like this, record the Zoom call and just coach your testimonial to, restate that question in the answer. With testimonials, they're supposed to be real. They're supposed to be, not very scripted or overly produced. And so if they're captured on your phone, or if they're captured via Zoom, or, there's some stumbles in between, that's okay. Because we want to show that they're real humans that other people can relate to. Now, number 2, the second types of videos that you should really be focusing on are your introductions. I used to have it flipped. I used to say introductions and then testimonials, but really testimonials are that third-party validation and really simple for people to capture. And so introduction videos would be that second type of video I'd say you should focus on to complete. And as you can see, it's very much like your business card. It's an opportunity for people to get to know you. And this is a video that you're going to want to put on the homepage of your website, on your LinkedIn profile, pinned to the top of your Facebook business page, added to every social media account that you have. And so these are kind of some screenshots of some end screens. So those are those end graphics that you see at the very end of a video. Some people like to have all their information on there and truly make it a business card. Others will just want to have one simple call to action. Maybe it's just to visit the website. And then you can see here with this green example, this is really just for a YouTube campaign. And so we have an opportunity for us to place video suggestions and then a subscription button. So what are some of these scripting elements when it comes to your introduction video? Just like your testimonials and reviews, you really want to work on trying to state these questions by restating the question and the answer, but then also make sure that you try to keep those answers short, ideally one sentence. If you answer all these 6 questions in one sentence and then even add number 6 question as a bonus testimonial, you're about a minute. And when you're scripting, you want your scripts to be about 150 words or less on average, because 150 words is about 1 minute. And 1 minute is the average retention rate. So the longer your videos get, the more elements you might need to add to it to keep it interesting. So what are some of these questions we want to answer in our introduction video? Well, what problem does your offering solve? That's really what people are looking for online. They're looking for answers to their problems. And so you always want to answer that right off the bat. What are you going to help people accomplish? And then who are you and what's your business? Who is your target audience? This introduction video is an opportunity for people to get to know you, but also an opportunity to kind of weed out the people whom you're not really fit to work with. You don't want to waste anyone's time, yourselves or them. And so go ahead and share, who's your target audience, who are the best people that you work with, and then how are you different from your competition, or what makes you unique. Again, just like with your testimonials and reviews, we don't want to name bash. We don't want to say that we're better than so-and-so. It's like those negative political ads. I hate them. Just talk about what makes you awesome. So instead, talk about, what do you know that makes you unique? What really separates you in your industry from the competition? I'm sure you know something that you can share. And then what resistance or objections will people have to you or your offer or your business or your service? This is another one of those opportunities where you're weeding out the people who are just not a good fit. You want to share, think about some of those first sales meetings you have with people. What are some of those constant, objections that you always hear that you can just let people know right out the front? I know we work with a lot of realtors, and a lot of realtors who work with first-time home buyers. The first-time home buyers think they have to pay the realtor to help them find a home. That's a common misconception. And so a lot of our realtors will have, will educate people in their introduction video that you do not have to pay me as, your buying agent. If we're looking for a home together, it's only as a listing agent would you have to pay me. And so a lot of people will just go ahead and educate what it is that people have objections or resistance to. And then number 6, the most important thing really is that call to action. When, where, and how do you want people to take action? Do you have a newsletter that you want people to sign up for on your website? Then make that the call to action. Do you prefer that people give you a call or give you a text? Then say that. Say, give me a text and here's my number. Ideally, you don't want to have too many call to actions. It's best to give someone, one direction, one destination, and then once they get to that one destination, what's the next step? You really want to handhold and walk people through a sales process, and that's where, with these videos, you can tell them what that next step is, have them do that next step, and then have another call to action after that additional step. And as I stated, if you add a testimonial, that's a really good bonus because this is your first, that first impression that you're giving people. Many times this introduction video might be the first time people are really learning more about you because they find it on the website or they find it on the top of your LinkedIn. And so make sure that if you have that time space or if you have that quality testimonial, that you add it to this introduction video. So that way, not only people can see that you're going to answer their problem, that you are, that they are in that target demographic that you're looking for, a target audience, that, okay, they're not worried about the resistant or objection that people have. They know what to do, and they're giving that third-party validation. They have that third-party validation that you do a great job. What this is doing is just building trust and building confidence that you are going to be the one that's going to help them reach it to the other side of their problem. Now, number 3, the third type of video that you should be producing are what we call SSME videos. They're search and subject matter expert videos. You want to show that you are the expert in your industry. And why we have SS is that Google loves video. And so the more that you're putting video on your website, on your blogs, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, it's going to be extremely beneficial to you. Google is even indexing the chapters in each YouTube video, which gives you another chance to get found organically. Kind of a little plug for why you should be a part of all of our sessions coming up, because we're going to be talking about YouTube chapters and how to get found organically. But really, these types of videos, your FAQs, things that you're getting hand cramps of retyping in emails, or you're just feeling like a broken record because you're answering the same question over the phone. All of these should become videos that people can easily search for and find. And then, like I said, not only will you be found, you're also going to show people that you are that subject matter expert and that you are someone to be trusted. What are some definitions that are in your industry that you think everyone knows, but then everyone doesn't? I ran into that myself yesterday. I was having a sales call and we were talking about using a green screen and keying out the green screen. And they go, what in the world's keying out mean? And it's when you change your background, like what I currently have. This is a green screen and I have my logo in the background. And so you want to make sure that you're educating people with things that might seem simple to you, but others just don't know. And seasonal things. We talked about how you're getting ready for the holiday season, how there's going to be some webinars around that coming up. What are some things within your industry seasonally that you'd want to share? Are you a chef and you want to talk about how to prepare the best holiday party? Are you a landscaper and want to talk about the best holiday decorations or best decorations that still won't mess up your yard? I know sometimes if you lay those things on the grass too long, you take up that snowman and then all of a sudden that grass is all brown. And so what are some things in your industry that you can share that's going to be very seasonal? Also, what's trending? It's important to show that you do have a pulse on reality and you know what's going on in the world. And so you can also have some videos that speak to, some trending topics or some, topics that everyone is talking about and how it relates to your industry then. Now, I know some people get a little nervous when I talk about doing these SSME videos. They go, well, if I'm just telling them everything, why would they hire me to, do that next step for them? And really the thing is, education and providing value is the new viral, we have found. If you are providing value to people, if you are sharing your content and opening your heart to people, they're going to remember you. And that's super important. The reason why we market is because we want people to remember us when it comes time to need our products or services. And so by providing value, by not selling, and by sharing, people are going to connect with you because they're going to remember you and they're going to know that you're the subject matter expert that's going to help them solve their problems. And so really focus on creating some SSME videos. Have a Google Doc. I use a Google Doc that every time I get a question from a client, I'll just add that topic to the Google Doc. So I always have a list of topics that I can then speak to create videos. You'll be amazed if you just look at some of your past emails or think about some of those past phone calls or look on the FAQ of your website. You have so many topics. And again, you kind of want to keep them shorter. Maybe you have a topic that, fits into 5 different chapters that could be a 10-minute video. Instead, maybe make them 2-minute videos, make them 5 2-minute videos instead of the 1 10-minute video. Shorter is always better. You can drip it out and have people, stay in touch with your content. And like I said, so keep them short, 1 minute or less, 150 in terms of word count or less. And even if you're not using a teleprompter, I really, really encourage that you actually write out and script out your videos. Not only is it going to ensure that you're staying in that time frame that you want to be in, it's going to help you just organize your thoughts and organize your mind, get you a little more prepared for the production. And then you can utilize that script to really help you save time when it comes to search engine optimization of those videos. And so during class 2 and 3, we'll talk more about that, but really be serious about scripting. It's gonna save you a lot of time. Okay, so before we move on to equipment, are there any questions about the 3 videos you should be producing? Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the chat because I was just not looking at it before. Where should the videos be uploaded to? How do you embed them into an email? That's such a great question, Carrie. So where should your videos be uploaded? We're gonna dive deeper into this in session 2 and 3, but just very quickly, every single video that you produce should be uploaded to YouTube. YouTube is the number 2 used search engine next to Google, which is number 1, and Google owns YouTube and has owned YouTube since 2008. And so Google really wants to show YouTube results in their results. So I highly suggest you always upload and fully search engine optimize your videos on YouTube. Now, if you want to embed your videos on a website, you may want to consider using Vimeo.com. Vimeo, it's a paid service to host your videos. However, you're able to embed the video in a very nice, sleek, private way where it doesn't have the title covering up half the thumbnail. It doesn't show that checkerboard of other options once the video is complete. It's a lot cleaner of a look, but it's not going to be organically searchable. People aren't really going to be able to search for those Vimeo videos, and that's why you really want to have them on YouTube, but it might look better for your website. In terms of the email, I would make sure that your email system can embed videos, and if it can, I would then probably use the Vimeo option only because it's nice and clean, unless you're someone like myself who has a lot of video that is search engine optimized. So when one of your videos are completed, it's going to be a checkerboard of more of your videos. So for the email, I would say it's a little bit on how much content you have that is search engine optimized, that once your video is completed, will it show more of your video suggestions to watch, or is it going to show other people's videos? So I hope that answered your question, Carrie. And let me see if there's any other questions in this topic. Okay, can you summarize the 3 videos, information, SSME, and what was the first? No problem. So the very first video that you would want to focus on is actually testimonials and reviews. That's getting your third-party validation by asking your own customers and clients why they love you and why they would recommend you. Number 2 is your introduction video. This is that 30-second to 1-minute commercial about what problem do you solve, who are you, why should we work with you, and how do we get started? Lastly, that SSME, that's a series of different videos. So that is search and subject matter expert videos. That is going to show that you are the subject matter expert, and it's going to be answering questions that people commonly have. Okay. I hope that covered the questions for now, for those 3 types of videos you should be producing. Obviously, there's so many more videos you could be producing. You can produce, a how to get to my office video. That's extremely beneficial for people who have an office that's hard to find. We have found that it's really helped people have their meetings show up on time. Other videos that you could be considering to do are obviously very salesy videos. You can be doing a commercial. You could be doing a product overview. Lots of things you can do in terms of videos. Those are just the 3 that if you're getting started, you should focus on, because you're going to see that return in your investment a lot faster. I know that might sound crazy, because I just told you that you're not going to get as high a return on just doing a sales video. But when it comes to marketing, people are more attracted to that education. Once again, just sharing your information than just selling. People know when they're being sold to. And so the more that you just educate, that is truly selling. Okay. So we'll move along now. Can we get a copy of the materials today? Yes, Rose, I do believe it looks like they shared at the very top, and I'm sure they'll be able to repost it, that there is a resource collective where every webinar that's been done by this amazing organization is on there, and so you can rewatch everything. So definitely ask Robert or Faith if you need that link again. Okay, so equipment you need that won't cost you an arm and a leg. And when you're thinking about your video marketing, we're a video production company. And so sometimes it's about delegation. Sometimes it is better just to hire it out and get it done right, especially when it comes to an introduction video, since that is your first, that first impression you're giving people. However, your testimonials and reviews, you should totally be confident to capture those on your own, because they're going to be happening in the moment. You can't necessarily call your crew to show up and capture it in time. Those SSME videos, those are things that you're going to want to be regularly producing and pumping out, that you might just have gotten off the call and you had an amazing conversation about a question that you need to produce a video on right now. And so we're going to be reviewing some of those equipment needs. So number 1 is you have to keep it steady. And so that is using a tripod, a basic tripod or a fluid head tripod. So what's the difference between the 2? I'm currently just using a plain ball head tripod. It's just going to stay there, stay put, and not move. And so if you need to set up a studio where it just stays put and doesn't move, then you can just get a very basic tripod. If you're using a camera, then it already has the tripod plate on there. But if you're going to be using a cell phone, or if you're going to be using an iPad, you'll need to get a little clamp to then hold onto your phone or your tablet and then attach to the tripod. The fluid head, moved fast. The fluid head is going to be used if you are panning or tilting. And so really that difference is in the top piece right here. And so this is looking like a fluid head. And so basically you can see there's knobs where I can then adjust the tension and then allow me to nicely pan, which is going from left to right, or you can then tilt, which is just up and down. And so people who do interior design, they need to be able to pan and tilt to really show the full room. So a question pop up. I'm going to answer this question really fast, just because our group's not too large. The question came in, are you suggesting uploading the same video in Vimeo and YouTube for different purposes? Yes, that is exactly what I'm suggesting. You want to put your video on YouTube and have it search engine optimized, so you have the potential to get organically found when someone is searching for the answer to their problem. Now you want to put the video on Vimeo if you want to have a clean embed code that doesn't share a checkerboard of other video options at the end of the video, that doesn't show the title on the top of the thumbnail. It allows you to have more customization when it comes to embedding. Whoa, clicking on I answered that just made it go crazy. So keep it steady. Once again, let's say you're walking and talking. Maybe you're doing a tour of your facility. Maybe you're a listing agent and you want to do a tour of a new home that you have on the market. Then you're going to want to get something that's a gimbal, something that's going to hold it steady. And gimbals, just like tripods, just like everything we're going to be talking about, has quite a range. And so you can get a very inexpensive one at about $85. And that would be like the one you're seeing here. And so you would put your own phone in that slot. It allows you to walk and talk, and it's going to keep it steady. You do have on there a little panel to be able to tilt and pan still. So that's a very inexpensive gimbal. Then, of course, the prices can go up from there, and it's going to vary on if you need to attach your phone or your camera, or do you want a gimbal with a camera already attached to it. There's a lot of options there. You'll see at the bottom corner that we do have an equipment page on our website. On there, we do have a little more explanation about the equipment, when you may want to consider using it. We have some video reviews as well. So if you do have more detailed questions about your unique situation, maybe have a chat with me afterwards, and let's talk about what equipment you really should focus on purchasing. Now, let there be light. It's important to be able to see you, but we can't see you if you don't have enough light on you. Lighting is so important. You don't want to just utilize the lights that are in your room, because it's all just downward light, causing awkward shadows under our nose and under our chins and on our necks. And so you really want to try to have as even light as possible. And so in doing that, just like everything with equipment now, you really want to think about what types of videos are you producing? Are you going to be walking and talking? Are you going to be setting up a studio space where it's just going to be only your talking head? Is it going to be an interview studio space? So you're always going to have at least two people on frame in the frame with you. Are you going to be moving around, showing a lot of different things, panning and tilting and going to different locations? Once you determine the types of videos and how they're going to be produced, that's going to help you make a better decision on what to actually purchase. I don't want you just to purchase things for the sake of purchasing it and having the equipment. You want to make sure that there's a plan. So that's why scripting too. I'm really big on making sure there's a plan. And so some of the lighting options that people really love. Let's talk first about this one on the phone. This is just an on-the-go LED light that has like 4 different outputs. There's like a dim one, a brighter, and a brighter, and a brighter. That's really great to use if you're going to be doing the gimbal, if you're going to be using your phone in really close proximity. So I would say if you're going to be about an arm's length away from the camera, then that would be fine. I know one client actually purchased 2 of them to put on either side because she just loved the extra bit of light that it provided. And those are very inexpensive. I want to say they're about $16 a piece. Now, other people that are just getting started with video and people who are planning on doing just a talking head like this really love the ring light. The other beautiful thing about ring lights is that they are kind of a basic stationary tripod in itself as well. They'll have a plate on there so you can actually add your phone, tablet, camera right into the middle there, and it produces a really nice light. Now, those of you with glasses like myself, you do have to do a good bit of guessing and checking and maneuvering the light. And once you find that perfect spot, leave it and then move around and see, oh, it got caught. Figure out exactly where you can place your head. So then hopefully you're not catching the light in your glasses too much. I do apologize and sympathize with those fellow glasses wearers. In the middle here, you'll see an adjustable LED light. That's typically what we use. We do have a lot larger of a light that I'm not going to even suggest to you all because it's definitely not user friendly. But these, color temperature adjustable and dimmable lights are really great. And I know a lot of people ask, why do I need color temperature adjustable? What does color temperature adjustable even mean? Even the ring lights will come with these orange pieces that you can put on the top. What it is it's allowing you to match the light that is in your original space. Basically what you want to do is you want to use light that matches your space. And so if you're outside or if you have a lot of daylight coming in, daylight is about 5,600 Kelvin. So 5,600 K you might see. That's more of a blue coloring. And so that's where, this particular ring light, without having those green pieces on it, it's going to produce that 5,600 more daylight look. Now, other people in a lot of indoor locations kind of has that weird mix. And so they're probably around 400 to 4,500K. That's where you can then adjust your light to then make it match the light that's in your scene. Other places, especially a lot of like hotels and conference places, definitely spas we go to and any kind of massage place, they have a really warm tone. You might notice that a lot of the colors are almost red-like. And that's where, if I was doing a talking head in a space like that, we might want to put those orange pieces around the ring light. And then you would also want to adjust, if you had the LED one, adjust that color temperature to be perhaps 3,500 Kelvin. And so the lower the number, the redder it gets, and then the higher number, the bluer it gets. And you really just want to try to match the scene that you're already in. Now, this last piece on the end here is called a reflector. A reflector is really great to use when you're outside. The sun is an amazing source of light and it provides a really great light source. But sometimes, just like in our offices, it might be coming at an angle that's producing shadows. What you can do is utilize a reflector to then bounce that sunlight onto your face and still give you a lot of great light. This is great for my landscapers, the gardeners, people teaching people how to grow food. They can become very helpful, but also a little blinding at times. So be wary when you're using those reflectors. But sometimes when you're outside, it might be the best option. And once again here, price range as low as like I think $16, maybe $20 for that ring light that you put on your phone, all the way up to 800 plus, and like I said, when it comes to video, there's always a plus when it comes to price. You can always spend more. And you want to really just work on minimizing shadows, providing that even light. And what it's going to do is really make you look younger and give you an overall better image. Okay. So we have our camera, we have our tripod, we have our lighting, but now we really need to hear you. Once again, think about the types of videos you're going to be producing. Are you going to be walking and talking? Are you going to be doing an interview? Are you going to be doing a talking head? What is it that you're going to be doing? That's going to help best determine what type of microphone to use. Currently, I am using a wireless lapel mic. I could totally be wired because I'm not moving from my camera, but I do have that option. If I wanted to stand up, if I wanted to walk away for a moment, I'm not tethered. And so I really love using wireless microphones. For people who are walking and talking, there are some really great boom mics. So that's the one that you see there on the right. There's some really great boom shotgun mics that you can use, but really you only want to use those if you're going to stay within an arm's length from your camera. Other people, they might set up a studio space and just have it wired, because those wired lapel mics are going to be the least expensive, but I would definitely side on wireless lapel mics if I had to choose. There are so many microphones, it's not even funny. Definitely look at our YouTube channel and check out some of the reviews we've done on different microphones. And if you have any questions, hopefully I can help you make a good decision. But really just once again, think about your production and what you're going to be doing, how much movement is there going to be, and that'll help you determine the best microphone. Now, I want you to make the green screen pledge. This isn't for everyone. This is going to be for people who are really planning on using Zoom for their recordings. I highly suggest that you should take advantage of the Zoom and put your brand up there. Make it marketable. And to do that, to do it well, you want to make sure, A, your computer processor can handle it. That's a whole conversation that we can have. Number two, though, you want to use a green screen. I know we've been on Zoom long enough that so many of us have seen the disappearing act, when someone goes to drink their coffee and then all of a sudden their hand and their coffee disappears, or they're moving their head around and their head's just getting chopped off. That's because they're trying to use a virtual background without using a green screen. It's extremely important that you use a green screen like I currently have to have a more crisp background. And so I've really been encouraging people, make the green screen pledge. Either use a green screen and have a virtual background, or don't have a virtual background. Okay, any questions in terms of equipment before we jump to the next session? Peace. Okay, I'm not seeing any, and we are getting close to our time. So why don't we just hold any questions that you have until the very end? I'm going to go ahead and complete this, and then we'll be able to move forward and answer any of your questions. So editing. Let's chat about editing. In the world of editing, there's a lot of options, just like everything with video. And really, you want to think about what is it that you want to do, how much time do you want to spend on it, and what's going to make the most sense for what you want to produce. So step one is you can just use your phone. Your phone has trimming capabilities built inside of it. There's so many different apps that you can get on your phone. And really, I would use your phone if it is something as simple as trimming it, having a fade in, fade out, or just clipping a piece like a testimonial piece. Anything beyond that, I personally hate using a phone. I personally hate using a tablet. I don't know, I might look a little younger, at least I hope I look young, but I personally love the bigger screen. I love being able to use a computer, and you'll find that the desktop and computer versions of software just has so many more tools, and they're just a little more friendly to work with than the apps. So I don't recommend always leaning on apps. Now, if you are a Macintosh or Apple user, then you may recognize this star. This star is iMovie. iMovie should be free with your computer, and it's really simple to use. It's very consumer friendly. You can insert photos, you can fade into different video clips, you can add music, add text graphics, add transitions, all very simply. For PC users, a similar software would be Movavi. I'd recommend Movavi for PC users. It's not free, but I want to say it was maybe like $150. Not bad at all with editing. And very similar. It can, provide really nice transitions. It has, text graphic templates on there, very consumer friendly. Now, if you're really looking to step up your game, if you really want to do some motion graphics, if you want to do some quality green screen keys without using Zoom, if you want to have access to Photoshop and Audition and just the whole suite, you may want to consider the Adobe Creative Cloud. We personally use the Adobe Creative Cloud and love it, and we just need it because we're doing a lot more high-end things when it comes to the text graphics and motion graphics, and After Effects is just needed, where Movavi and iMovie will key out and take out that background and put in a different background, but it's not nearly as clean. You're gonna see those outlines of yourself, and you're gonna be able to tell it was done on a green screen. So next step, once you've produced your video, is to have it go through the distribution roadmap. But we're going to be reviewing that in more detail during part 2. And so if you've not already registered for part 2, I would go and do that right now, because we're going to be reviewing that entire map so you know where and how to post your videos. And with that, we now have some time to answer any questions that weren't already answered.
Excellent, Taylor. Thank you. Yes, everybody post your questions in the chat or in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Let's take advantage. We've got about 10 minutes that Taylor can answer some questions. So please ask away.
And what I will do too is I will put my email in the chat. So if there is, I know sometimes I kind of like reprocess what I did in the day, and I rethink, and then I go, oh wait, I have a question about that. Go ahead and just send me an email with a question you might have if you couldn't think of it right now.
So Taylor, I have a question that I asked you this earlier before we started, but I think it'd be a good question for everybody. Lots of people like to have music in their videos. What are some music sites that they can look at for either no cost or low cost royalty-free type music?
Great question. It's always nice to add music into your background, in the background of your videos. It just kind of adds some more emotion, and it helps kind of move along the video. And so you can go onto YouTube. There's, a Creative Commons space where you can purchase, not purchase, but you can use the music tracks that they have on there completely free, but they're very limited. And, as Robert and I kind of discussed, you do run out of your options fairly quickly. And so some other sites that we really like, we personally love using Envato Elements. And the reason why we like Envato is because we can utilize that same software to find, or that same program to find pictures, to find B-roll video, to find, font, graphics, to find After Effects templates. It has a lot in there. And so I really suggest Envato. I also, for music, really liked artlist.io, audiojungle.com, and audioblocks.com. All of those sites are a little different in terms of, do you need to buy a year membership? Do you just purchase the song? Do you buy credits to be able to purchase the song? So they're all a little different, and I would definitely just think about how many different music tracks you need, how consistently you're going to be having to download things, and do you need other elements like B-roll video and, photos and so forth. And then I saw here there was a question about spelling Movavi. You are 100% correct, Dan. That is how you spell Movavi. And then what is the price ranges for different mics? So yes, my YouTube reviews do cover the different price ranges. And of course they might change. So I always kind of say at the time of this recording, it was, but really for a decent mic, you're looking between $50 plus. And so once again, it's always plus. The microphone that I'm using, I want to say was about $600. The microphones the majority of my clients are using are maybe $90 to $150. So it just really makes a difference whether you want to be tethered and be linked with a wire, or do you want it to be wireless? Do you want a boom mic? Do you want a lapel? All those little variations make a difference in the price. And now that I think about it, I want to say some of the wired mics are maybe only like $25. So very inexpensive to fairly expensive, depending on what you need. All right.
A couple people asked about your YouTube channel. They just need to search Financial Potion?
Correct. You can search Financial Potion, youtube.com/Financial Potion. But if you search Financial Potion, we definitely dominate that keyword search. So you'll find us.
Awesome. Another question that I have is, some people might want to try to monetize their videos along with, plug in for their business. Are there any simple things to be aware of when trying to monetize videos on YouTube?
Well,
you can answer in a few minutes.
That's a whole conversation. But step one, I just want to say actually is be patient. Be patient. A lot of people think, okay, I'm going to post some videos and then all of a sudden now I'm going to make a lot of money on YouTube. Really, you got to be consistent, and you need to go in with it saying, okay, I need to be consistently posting for a year or two or more sometimes until you actually, reach that level of being able to monetize your videos. One of our clients, he makes about $600 a month on his videos, but it took him a solid 3.5 to 4 years of posting to reach that level. And so just keep that in mind. And then number two, never use anything copywritten. That's always going to be the other key. You're going to get flagged so fast. YouTube's system has gotten so much better with that. So don't use any copywritten music. I don't care how cute it is. So many people go, oh, but it's so popular, I want to use it now. Don't. Make sure that you really own and have the licenses for everything that you're going to be posting. That would be my other big step. And then consistency. It's going to be really posting consistently. So people who have a really aggressive plan that really want to try to monetize faster, it's suggested to post a video every single day for at least 30 days when they first get started. So for a lot of people, especially since we're all business owners, that's not really realistic, but definitely something to consider when making a plan.
Excellent. Thank you. Sabrina, real quick, PPP loans are not still available. So a side question there. Any other questions for Taylor? We've got still a couple minutes left about videos. Do you recommend using a camera or a dedicated video camera?
So we have dedicated video cameras. We have cameras that are just for video, and then we have a camera that's just for photos. They can both cross and do both. We have one cinema camera that cannot do any photos. So obviously, if you can afford it in your budget, I definitely suggest having a good video camera. But for many of us, especially just starting out, that may not be realistic. And so if it's not, look at your phone. iPhones these days, 4K, 8K quality. Check the settings of your phone and see, what your phone can produce. If your phone can capture at least 4K, that's great for anything that you're posting online right now. Obviously, if you wanted to share it to a theater, you want to have a higher quality camera. But if you're really just posting for online, many of your phones will be perfect to get started with.
So should people film in 4K or 1080p for most videos?
Great question.
Because I know that the file size is significantly different.
The file size is significantly different, but I highly, highly advise you record in 4K if you're able to, and then export in 1080. And so why you'll want to do that is, let's say I was recording myself in 4K right now. Oh, I stumbled, I messed up. But what I can do is cut to a close-up, and it's not going to feel like a mess up. It's going to feel like, oh, we just want to cut to a close-up to emphasize that point, versus it being a jump cut. And so when you record in 4K but export in 1080, you have that extra bit of space within the video to scale it up or scale it down, but not degrade the quality. On the flip side, let's say you only recorded in 1080, you're going to export in 1080, but you needed to stretch and make the, have that shot become a close-up. You're now stretching the footage, which is not going to make it look as sharp when you get to that close-up. And so I always advise recording in 4K. And honestly, by this time next year, when we're having a conversation, I kind of have a feeling I'll tell you to record in 8K. So yeah, 4K is the new HD. How often do you recommend posting to Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn? Great question, Carrie. So I recommend that on the low end, you post at least once a week. You want to let people know at least once a week what is it that you're doing, or what's information you want to share with people. You want to stay in front of people on a weekly basis. If you have more content than that, then you can go every 3 weeks. And if you have quality content, if you're truly doing like a huge SSME campaign, you can post daily. You can totally post daily. But really, what you want to do is look at your analytics. When are your viewers most active? Are people even on those platforms or on your pages over the weekend? Or are they primarily only on there from Wednesday to Friday? There's always some general rules and suggestions we can give you, but when it comes to marketing, you really want to look at your own audience, your own analytics, and what's going to make the most sense to move forward.
Awesome. That's a great spot to wrap up. So Taylor, thank you very much for today's presentation. Just a reminder, she will be back next Thursday with the roadmap and part 2 of this 3-part series. Each of the 3 webinars will be its own great standalone webinar, but when we combine all 3, it'll help you really get a great solid understanding of the video for your business. So I want to appreciate Taylor for coming on and doing that with us. Thank you for today's presentation, and we want to thank everybody for joining us today, and we hope to see you on Tuesday. Until then, everybody have a great rest of your week and weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you all.